Want to up your neighborhood mail targeting game? This is the video for you. I'm Nate with PostNow, and today we're going to look at the Precision Targeter tool in Canada Post, and then the tools on PostNow so that you can understand how to get the most out of your direct mail campaigns with the least amount of time. All right, let's get started. I've got the audience builder from PostNow open on this screen, and we're going to dig into this a little bit. But before we do this, we want to look at the Canada Post Precision Targeter tool. If you're a real estate agent or a small business, you may be familiar with this, and it's a wonderful tool if you use it all the time. As a planning tool, from a marketing perspective, you can do some very cool things with this. But from a user side, if I don't use this very often, it's complex, it wastes a lot of time, and I may not end up with results that actually match the goal of my campaign unless I really understand how to demographically and geographically target people. So we're gonna fly through this because I wanna get into the map, and so I'm just gonna skip all of this. I'm not worried about the cost aspect of this. I do wanna get to the refining your audience. And so, of course, we're going to define a geographic area, but we want to identify the areas that match our target goals. And so if I'm a real estate agent in this situation and I'm targeting, trying to get people to sell their homes, well, I'm not going to target businesses and I'm not going to target apartments. I'm trying to sell houses in particular. I may also avoid farms, although farms is pretty rare in an urban situation, but having the ability to target down to registered farms is definitely a neat tool for the right small business. So I've got houses selected, and then I've got options to select a few different demographic filters. I'm only going to select one initially here, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to go with household income, which is the number one most common way that people filter their direct mail campaigns. And so if you've got a more creative way to do it, I definitely recommend looking at it. It's a great way to stand out and to target maybe a slightly different audience than what people are used to seeing. So in this case, I'm going to target everybody between $100,000 and $300,000 in terms of their annual household income. And then I'm going to continue. It's going to ask me for a municipality, and in the case of this one, for the demo, I'm going to do Edmonton. It's just what I know. And so you can type in your municipality. There's a few other ways that you can search here. Radius around a particular address, where you'd enter in the address and then a radius. You can target by an FSA, and so if you want to target by a single FSA T5T to narrow your search down, you can. One that's very cool is drive time. And so this is how long will it take people to drive to a location. And so if you're a retail location and you want to target people within a 10-minute drive, this is super cool. And so again, it's a great tool, what Precision Targeter is. It just gets complex. So in the case of today, we're just going to go with a municipality. Again, it's most common. I'm going to select Edmonton and I'm going to continue. We're going to give this a moment. It should, if it's working, which for the demo today would be amazing if it wasn't. This tool does sometimes happen to kind of go down. And so right now, I've just got Edmonton. It does look like it's got a bit of an error. We're just going to try to refresh this and see if we can get it back. Yeah, so this does go down on occasion. That is another big advantage of using the PostNow system, is that because we're doing all the actual work for you, we don't really worry about whether the system's down. Our system will always be up, and you can at least get your campaign order in and then get back to your day running your business. So we're just looking for houses in this case. We're going to go continue. Let's be a little bit more defined here. Alberta. We'll continue. Here we go. It's going to find all of the neighborhoods that match what we were looking for. And so it's all based on match rate. Or without us having a threshold, it's essentially going to target every single neighborhood in Edmonton. So you can see that count going up at the top there. 150, 160, it's just going to keep going here. So again, this is that time-consuming side of of Precision Targeter. I'm now left with this as a map. Because we're going to start by kind of just zooming in here so we can identify these areas. And so the darker red, I'm going to go red, is a higher match rate. And so you can click on each one of these individual walks. That's what these are called. And so it'll outline all of the neighborhoods in a particular area. So all that blue, that's one neighborhood walk. And so if I want to add this route, SS0134, to my campaign, I'm targeting 781 houses in that particular. This one over here, that's in darker red, I've got 746. And so it quickly can balloon so that your campaign includes a heck of a lot more pieces than what a small business would want to order. And so you're like, okay, now you need to filter this down. And so to start filtering it down, you can choose this audience match. And so this audience match will start cutting out the low match neighborhoods. And so neighborhoods that do not have a match rate that's acceptable. And so in our case, we're looking for we want at least 70% of the homes in a neighborhood to have that income range of $100,000 to $300,000 annual. So I'm going to update and save this. And it should then identify the 1 or 2 neighborhoods in the city where at least 70% of the homes apparently have an income that we were looking for. And if we want to look at this at a tabular view, or we're like, whoa, that gave us not enough, I can just bring this down. So now I can go to a 60%. We'll just give this a second. And now I'm up to 24,000 homes. So like, there's my homes that now meet that, or those neighborhoods that now meet my campaign objective or the targeting that I did. So up at the top here, I can look at there's a little button there. It looks like a chart. That'll load up the actual table. And so what you can see here is these are household income. So here's the match rate of that demographic. And so then the total match rate of it. Because we've only got one demographic filter going on, the match rate is going to be the same as this. This is where I want to show you what happens when we change details though. So let's go back to the map. And we're going to view more details. We're going to edit this. So what we want to look at updating is, oops, not that one. Great, so I hit a wrong button and now I'm stuck in one of the reasons I think a lot of people get frustrated with Precision Targeter is now I'm stuck waiting for everything to redo itself so that I can go back to what I was trying to edit and change it. So I'm just gonna shortcut through all of this. All right, we are back to our targeting here. And so we're just got that household income. I'm gonna select another one here. And in this case, I'm going to select building construction period. It also was, you can see how few people are making over this and it refined it a lot. So I'm gonna add the higher one here and I'm gonna go down one as well to increase that particular match rate. I'm then gonna look for homes that are a little bit older. So I want older neighborhoods. And so I want 1960 all the way up to 1990 is the construction period of homes I'm looking for in this case. This is really neat for a real estate agent, again, that might be trying to find homes of a certain style or age that the owners are ready to sell because they have buyers for that area. Or they want to target people that are in old homes to get them into brand new shiny ones with all the special features. There's a lot of neat ways to consider searching versus just using household income. So we're gonna update that mailing now. And before, like, it was the whole city, and so this will start to refine it, especially once we add in that match rate. We're gonna look at the table though once this updates, because I want you to see how quickly the total match rate drops when you include multiple demographic filters. So we're going to exclude these routes. So let's pop this open. And so we're just filtering down to our Alberta here. And so what you see is, here's a really good example. If I search by household income or order this, so you can click on it to order by smallest or largest top to bottom. I've got this neighborhood here that matches my household income demographics by 94%, but the build construction period is 11%. Therefore, I'm left with like a 52% match rate. So it's a very new area, but everybody's making the income that I want them to make. And so on the flip side, if I scroll down a bunch here, here's the opposite where 91% of the homes fall in the older than 1990, but only half of the people are making the income that I want. This might end up being, 69%. This might end up being the match rate kind of threshold that I need to go to find the campaign. So either way, if I've already lost you, that's the complexity that is involved with really identifying the right neighborhoods to target inside a precision targeter. The tools are all here. There's some great training tools online for this. Yes, it's relatively easy once I've identified some areas. I'm just going to click on the edit and I can start to uncheck. I can uncheck areas if I want, right? I can remove an area or add an area. And so I did the wrong button click again. And so now I'd actually have to start over again because I didn't mean to do that. That's precision targeter. Very powerful, a pain to use. So let's hop back over and let's look at the audience builder on PostNow. It's simple, and we went simple because for most people that's what they want. If you want to use precision targeter and you just go all the way through to extracting your PT file, we're happy to use that and use your audience for you. So that's fine. In this case though, my scenario is I'm a real estate agent and I want to target a particular neighborhood for an Upsizers and a Downsizers two campaign sides. And so Upsizers are people that are looking for a bigger house or a more fancy house, and then Downsizers are the opposite, right? They're looking to go from a house to an apartment or a larger house to a smaller house. So we're gonna do this here. So I'm gonna look for about 3,000 people, which again in real estate is a very common size for campaigns. And then I'm just gonna click this add entry. This will open up our audience builder tool. And it's pretty straightforward. We've got a nice show how to use instructions on it here. And so if you do forget, you can open it up, get some quick information here. If you've enabled the location identification, it'll automatically populate with your address here. But if not, then what you can do is you can just look up an address that you want to target from a radius perspective. So I'm looking for a particular neighborhood. And that Upsizers, Downsizers, I want Westridge Road West. So I'm going to talk about this area here on the map for a bit. And well, before I do that, the circles are what shows from a radius perspective, and you can drag them around with the white pins to get it over the area you want. You can expand and contract the overall circumference as necessary to cover the area you want again. Pretty straightforward with this. If I wanted to add another circle, I can just click on the circle tool or look up another address. But if I click here, I'll add another circle. And so I can target multiple places while leaving other ones out. The account management team at PostNow is going to look at whatever you map out and is going to find the neighborhoods within the area that match what you're going to select down low here. And but before we do that, I want to show you something else you can do. Maybe a circle is not as defined as you want it to be. Pretty understandable. I'm going to reset this. Then I'm going to use the draw a shape tool, which is the last option in the little toolbar on the map. And this lets me outline a far more defined area. And so now this Upsizers and Downsizers. This area right here, we've got Collingwood on one side and we have Westridge, Wolf Willow on this other side here. So I'm going to start with identifying the Westridge Wolf Willow area. This is the area that I want to define, and you don't have to be super precise on your polygon shape, but there's the area I want to target with my Downsizers. It's all old estate homes. It's a beautiful neighborhood. A lot of people are trying to get into this neighborhood, so I know that if I can get a home for sale in this neighborhood as a real estate agent, that it's going to sell quick. On the flip side, it's all estate homes. They're older homes. They probably need maintenance, so if I'm a home service company, it's a great place to target with flyers for service or maintenance programs for the homes as well. So here's what I'm targeting. Now I'm going to scroll down here. I'm only targeting houses. So I'm going to select off the houses option here and not worry about the other three. Now, I can add demographic filters here if I want, just like we were doing with Precision Targeter. And so these are all the same filters that you'll find in Precision Targeter. So I can go by average income again, and there's all my options. And so I'm going to pick that 80 to 100 and 250, 300,000 range. And then that building age, building construction period, same thing. I'm going to go knowing full well that all the homes fit in that. If I didn't want to worry about additional targeting and I just wanted to hit everybody in here, then I don't need to put any targeting. I can just select the no demographic filter. That's not a problem at all. So that's all I need to do to identify this audience. I outlined it on the map. I told you how many houses I want to hit in it, and I told you what my parameters are. We do all the work to identify the right neighborhoods that get as close as possible to your quantity. Now, when it comes to sending out your quantity, there's a couple different things that we can do. We can go over under. So if the neighborhoods get really close and we're at like 2,800, but the next neighborhood's going to take it way over, we can either stay down or we can go a little bit over for you. We'll always give you that option to be able to adjust your final quantity. Or we can send an exact amount of pieces, but one of your neighborhoods will get shortchanged. Obviously, we won't be able to deliver to everyone in it, and we can't guarantee which houses in it do get the piece. So it's a very interesting scenario to have to deal with. But sometimes because of budget, it's not a terrible way to go. So now there's my Upsizers audience here. Sorry, Downsizers audience. If I wanted to put any comments in here, so like this is a Downsizers audience looking to target people that want to move out of their homes and into a smaller area or dwelling. There you go. So there's my campaign built, or my audience built. I don't have to do anything else. We're just going to go down and save. So this audience is built. I've got all my details in here. I can see an approximate cost of how much this audience is going to cost based on the mail type that I'm going to send out. And it's only approximate in the sense of the quantity may change, but the campaign rate should be exactly correct. And so this is a $1,283 campaign for me to send 3,000 postcards to those Downsizers. I'm going to save this audience. And while that saves, I'm just going to pull up our audience manager. So the audience manager is where all of your audience are saved, and you'll get all the details in there. We update them. And so you can see I've got a bunch of different audiences in here. On the audience builder, if we go back here, and I want to talk about that contrasting one. Let this load. So we're going to call this our Upsizers, Collingwood to Westridge. Same thing, we're going to go 3,000. I'm going to add the entry. So we're looking at that same area over here in Collingwood. Now, here's why we talked about the Westridge area being estate homes, older estate homes. Collingwood is all high density. I don't want to say low income, but low to medium income apartments, condos. There's a few homes scattered throughout here, but predominantly apartments. And as a local business, and I think this is a big part to understand too, as a local business, you oftentimes understand the neighborhoods that you work in better than any data set that's compiled from Canada Post or Census Canada. Neighborhoods change over time, and sometimes so quickly that like our data that we have can't be as accurate as we wish it would be. And so this is where a good business owner, a good real estate agent, they really focus on a strategy that's beyond just saying what the data tells you into what they know those people are doing from an activity perspective. We know there's people in Collingwood that are trying to move over into Westridge. It's close to the same schools. It's close to their, everything that they're used to. It feels like a major step up. It's a perfect situation for a real estate agent to go after. And so the real estate agent would go like, great, all I want to do is target the Collingwood area. And so I'm going to outline that Collingwood area. Boom, done. I'm going to scroll down, hit my apartments, because that's what I want to go after in this particular case. I'm not super focused about demographic filtering, but maybe I do want to at least try to identify, in case my count isn't enough to cover all this, because maybe there's more than 3,000 dwellings, might as well filter by something. I'm looking for children at home is what I'm looking for, families that have children at home. So neighborhoods that are family oriented, because again, it's such a great move to encourage that might match my messaging or the products and services or the real estate pitch that I've got going on. So this is my Upsizers audience from Collingwood to Westridge. With both of those audiences now built, my Downsizers and Upsizers, I can use those audiences anytime I want in my campaigns. So I'm just going to hop over to the direct mail campaign builder here quick. We're just going to open up Neighborhood Mail, select use one of our existing built audiences, and then we're just going to search Upsizers. There's that Upsizers audience. And so if I use that one, it'll autofill. I can complete this campaign in a matter of minutes. I'll select a postcard. I probably have a design ready to go if it's an audience that I'm targeting regularly, so I can just upload that design, or I can pick a quick from the gallery here. And once that's done, final notes, agree to the terms, and generate your campaign and checkout. That's as easy as it is with the PostNow audience builder. We think that for most people, this is the best way to manage your audiences, is let us build them after you identify the basics in a general geographic area. So if you have more questions about how to use the PostNow builder, reach out to us. We're happy to walk you through that, or just talk you through it on the phone and do the work for you. I'm Nate from PostNow. Thanks for watching. We look forward to helping you with your PostNow marketing goals.